Welcome to Life Mastery for Women, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you living a life of curiosity. If you are not living a life of curiosity, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. I was on the phone with a co-worker of mine, and she's, between you and I, she is also putting in her 2 weeks notice. And we were talking about today when she called and she says, listen, I know the work that you do about releasing stuck energy and even like trauma around certain events. And I said, yeah. And she says, so I want to figure out how I can move this energy out because I feel like I need to talk to them. I feel like I need to confront the bosses and give them this my honesty and my truth about what happened. And I feel like they're not going to basically give me any feedback, which is just going to upset me. So here's what I told her, and here's what I would say to you. And I feel like this is the absolute most powerful position to be in that allows you to heal outside of whatever the expectations are out in the physical world. So for example, you're having an issue with somebody and you want to confront them because typically that's how we want to move the energy. And if that other person is willing to see your perspective or add a little forgiveness or maybe even apologize or do whatever, then typically the relationship can be remedied in some way and some growth can happen. But if the other person is not willing to see your perspective or for whatever reason acts like they don't really care, then it makes it harder on your end to try to move that energy. It's like you tried to move it, they didn't receive it, and so now you're still stuck with it. And then you might even have further emotions about the issue, like now you're angry or you feel unimportant, and it tends to pile on the emotions that you already were feeling. So here's what I told her. We've heard of the way to release energy sometimes, and I share this a little bit, and I've done this several times, and sometimes it helps, depends on the situation, but it's to write a letter to the person. And if you could draw a picture, you could write a letter, you could say it out loud, you can do whatever mode of communication you want to be able to say everything that you need to say. So get it down on paper, puke it all out, say everything you need to say, call them whatever name, swear, say whatever, get it all out, move it all the way out, as many pages, as many pieces of paper as you need to be able to get to a place of neutrality. Okay? When you get to that place of neutrality, then you can breathe in something new because now you've emptied the energy container. The negative energy is out. It's like taking the garbage out. Okay. Now you have this empty container. Now you can bring in new empowering information that allows you to feel better about the situation. It allows you to heal. We've talked about the art of forgiveness, right? And so many people are like, yeah, but I'm not going to forgive that person because they were really crappy to me. And I'm like, well, yes, that is true. However, forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. And until you can forgive, you are going to be stuck with this energy. You're not going to be able to release it. So the forgiveness is a way to release the stuck energy so you can heal, not them, and not give them permission to walk all over you or abuse you in any way that they did. That's not what forgiveness is, but so many times people think it is. So I gave her that example. I said, so you could write a letter and then you can do, once you empty it out, everything that you need to. And I said, and there's still stuff in there, just keep going. Keep repeating if you have to. Keep saying everything that you need to say, even if you feel like you need to say it 25 times. It's okay. And you're like, oh, I already wrote that on page 1. It's okay. Write it again. If you still feel it in there, write it again. You're going to go and go and go until it's empty. That's the point of this. Then you create a ceremony, you burn the letter, and that smoke gets carried back and transmuted. That energy gets carried back and transmuted back to Mother Earth through the ash and the smoke out to source energy, and you're releasing it. Then from there, it's kind of this cleansing process where you're bringing in new empowering emotions that feel better. Joy, just the sake of releasing it, feels lighter, okay? But you have to bring in a new energy in replacing of it, so you're filling that bucket back in with something better. If you leave it void, you might very well pick it back up again, and you don't want to do that. So she said, yeah, I've done that before. Matter of fact, through the last several years of working here and with this particular person, I've written and journaled and burned these letters and wrote all kinds of stuff, and I'm still feeling that I need to talk to them. And I said, okay. I said, well, if that is the case, or if you're feeling that way, that you need to talk with whoever the person is, and you need to have this conversation, like this face-to-face conversation with them, then I think it's really important that you go in there with zero expectations. Go in with zero expectations. If you go in thinking, I'm going to say this, and I hope that they act this way or say this certain thing so I feel validated, it's a good possibility you're going to be sadly mistaken and highly disappointed. But if you go in with this curiosity, like, I'm doing this for me. I'm going through this process because I need to heal, and I wonder how it will go. You are at a neutral space in your emotion. Curiosity is very neutral. And actually it's if you think of a timeline, like negative is below the line and zero is at the line and positive numbers are above, I would say curiosity is probably like a +1. Not on our normal vibration scale of frequency that we talk about, but the feelings below are negative feelings, and curiosity is a little bit more than neutral. But it's not neutral. I would say maybe apathy is probably a -1 and curiosity is a +1. But anyway, it feels a little bit better to come in at this place that is curious, where I'm just not exactly sure how this is going to go. Now, be really curious. Don't try to be there just in your mental energy. Like, really feel the emotion of curiosity. Then, and only then, would I say have the conversation. Now, they say curiosity killed the cat. I say curiosity healed the cat. Because there's one way to be curious, and the cat is curious about this thing, and then, falls, 6 stories to its death. But this kind of curiosity helps us to heal. Going in with this level of curiosity and with zero expectations. So now you have to come from a place of being able to allow the healing to take place. When you come from that place of, I'm allowing this healing, I'm going to have this conversation because I need to move this energy. However they receive it is up to them. When you come from those two places, that's when things heal. So I ask you, is there someone that you need to talk to? Is there someone in your life that you need to share some knowledge, some conversation with, that it would benefit you to maybe write the letter first, not give them the letter. We're like never sharing the letter, but you're going to move this energy out, write the letter, say everything you need to say, use as many pieces of paper as you need to, burn the letter, ceremonial. You're giving it back to Mother Earth through the ashes, and you're giving it to source energy or God or the universe through the smoke. And you're releasing it. This is a spot for healing for you. This is not about manipulating somebody. This is not about going and having a conversation with them in hopes that they're going to change the way they do things, or they're going to validate you or make you feel important. That has to come from you. Now, those are all many other podcasts, or you can join my group coaching program, because we're going to talk about self-love and being empowered, so you can hold those emotions anytime you want without having to reach out to people to have someone else fill your bucket. You're going to learn how to fill your own bucket, okay? Then when you're done burning the letter and you still feel like, you know what, I do want to have that closure and I do want to talk to that person, get to that place of curiosity and get to that place of zero expectations. It doesn't matter. They could ignore me. They could yell at me. They could not shift their perspective. It doesn't matter. I just need to say these things to them. When you're coming from that place of a little bit of neutrality, where you're a little bit curious with zero expectations, that, my friend, is where true healing can take place. If you liked this episode and you look forward to future episodes and are really looking for a community to help support you with implementing the tools that we're talking about in this podcast, please consider joining our online sister community called Lady Rising on Facebook, where we focus on that spiritual support and connection, just like in today's episode. I hope you'll join us. Go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, and tell me you came in through the podcast.